Welcome, Toonheads, to Toonhounds, your fortnightly foray into all things animated. I'm Rich Masters, and with me, as always, they are spectacular. They are most definitely not as weird as some of the cartoons that we're talking about today. They are Spivzy.
When did we start calling people Toonheads?
I don't know. I just made it up then.
That was good. Yeah, that was.
All right, cool.
That was good. Yeah, I like that. I think Toonheads was like wasn't that like a magazine show they had on Cartoon Network or something?
I thought it was. Yeah. But I think. Do you know why I think I did it? Because I think the secret. What the fuck is it called? Secret Mountain Fort Awesome.
Yeah.
Had a Toonhounds reference on one of the adverts.
Oh, did it? Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That would probably be
that
it.
Would make sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a cup of tea because I desperately
I only saw the ad for Mad TV when I watched it.
I saw that one as well.
Yeah, I never noticed the other one. But we are talking about weird things today, so that was weird.
We are. Well, speaking of weird, we had a fortnight break because you weren't well.
Yeah.
You couldn't barely talk the morning we were due to record. Yeah. But also, I've had a series of job interviews over the last 2 weeks, which is why we haven't spoken, because we've barely spoken either, have we?
Yeah, you've been off.
I've been incommunicado, and it's affected Storylords as well. So we had to push back Storylords to Thursday, and then Josh got really sick, was out of action for like a couple of days.
Jeez.
Couldn't record anything, couldn't do Continue, couldn't do Storylords, couldn't do M-Class. So everything got pushed back, and then we were like, okay, right, we'll wait and do it. Something in 2 weeks. But before we start, talking of weird, I'm going to talk to you about the interview that I did.
Right.
The first interview, because I feel like I got all my bad luck for the year out early.
Oh, that was good then.
So, yeah.
You should be right from now.
Yeah. So a friend of mine who was the CEO of another charity in Plymouth when I was CEO of AGK, basically got in touch with me and was like, I'm moving on. I'm going to a different project within the organisation.
Yeah.
And I spoke to, because we'd worked together, and she said, I spoke to the trustees about you because, we've worked together in the past. I know you're good at what you do. And I was like, oh, thanks. So she said, I've got you an interview if you want one. We're not interviewing anyone else at the moment. And I was like, well, that's great. I've probably landed this one then.
Yeah.
So I do my research, do my presentation.
Is that foreshadowing?
Yeah, it's absolutely foreshadowing. But I do all the normal work I do. I did a load of, research on the topic and the organisation. I've been there 3 times because I've set up a reciprocal work project with both the charities. So I know what they do. I've met most of the staff, know them, earn their trust, respect, that sort of thing.
This sounds like it's a shoo-in.
Well, it does, doesn't it? So it's only literally up the road, 20 minutes. I can get the bus to work if I needed to. So it's just on the other side of the hospital, absolutely fine. So I get there half an hour early, look at the, double check the location, and it's a link. So it pins me to the other side of the science park, which is like in Plymouth, there's a big science park where all the tech organisations are. On the other side of the hospital, and it's like 30-minute walk across. So it's like, okay, right. So it's pinned me to the far side. So I've got like 45 minutes. Like I'm going to be there 15 minutes early. Ring the doorbell. No, sorry, there are no interviews here today. There's actually no organisations here in the building. I'm just the security person. Okay, all right, fine.
Oh.
So I quickly run across the other side to the actual headquarters of the charity, which is also on the science park.
Yeah.
They don't know where the interviews are being held.
That's fantastic.
Like, that's weird, right? So I emailed the head of the trustees, who's the chair of the panel, and I'm like, the pin link in the email has sent me in completely the wrong direction. Where are you? And he said, well, we're outside building 1. I'll wait outside for you. At this point, I'm like, it's 5 minutes to the interview. I'm 20 minutes walk away. Yeah. So it's not going well so far. I run across the science park. The guy is waiting outside for me. He looks pissed because I'm 15 minutes late by this point.
For no fault of your own.
Through no fault of my own. But there is no apology and none is going to be given.
No.
So I go into the interview. I'm sweating because it's been really hot here, hasn't it? It's been quite warm for British people. It's been like
17 degrees. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm, like sweating through my shirt because I've been running. I can't take my jacket off because I look like my armpits are like 5 shades darker than the rest of my shirt. So I'm really flustered.
Yeah.
Everyone on the panel looks really irritated at me. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to get this job, am I? So they asked me to do my presentation. There's no electrical, no way to do an electronic presentation. I've prepared it all. My laptop is there.
Did they expect you to bring it on like a whiteboard? Like,
no, so they've got a whiteboard behind me. So I was like, well, there's no pen, so I'll just do it physically. And then the guy hands me a pen. So I'm like, I didn't want to do the thing, but once he's given you the pen, you kind of have to do it. So I start writing on the board as I'm talking, absent-mindedly. Do my presentation, think, it's actually gone quite well considering I'm so sweaty and flustered.
Yeah.
I look back and I haven't written anything of value. I've just done 5 vertical lines on the board, which don't mean anything.
What happened?
I think so.
You black out.
But I did. The presentation was fine. Then during the actual panel interview, he asked me a question that completely flummoxed me because he doesn't ask in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
To my brain, and he was asking a finance question, and he was asking about why we would have to recoup certain, and the answer, it doesn't matter. The answer was so obvious that it just flew past me. Like, he's obviously asking for a more complex question.
Yeah.
So
it was a trick.
Yeah, exactly. Then they tell me that as part of this, the CEO has to be on call hot weekends, Christmas, New Year, bank holidays, and my reaction, the face I must have made to that, like in confusion, like why would you pay someone £50 an hour or whatever ridiculous amount you're going to pay the CEO to be on call when you could pay someone who is like closer to £15 an hour, and actually get more value for money? But I sort of squinted, and the reaction I got was kind of like, oh, okay, right, they don't like that reaction.
No.
So then I, say bye and stuff like that. I walk out, I look down, my flies are undone and have been the whole interview, including the portion where I was standing up.
Oh, God.
Doing this presentation.
It's like you couldn't, like, this is like a sitcom.
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't stop
Raymond.
Here. It doesn't stop here. I'm on the phone to Rachel telling her, like, don't get your hopes up about this job. I haven't done it. Walking some dog shit.
Oh, God.
Then miss 2 buses.
God.
Then I run for the 3rd bus. Get on the bus. I'm really self-conscious because I stink of, like, my shoes have trodden shit, basically. So, like, I smell.
You're covered in piss.
As I'm getting off the bus, I trip over my own boot, land on the floor, and get the dog shit from one boot all the way up my trouser leg on my on the other side.
This is ridiculous.
And then
don't leave the house.
So it was laughable. And by the time I got home, so much bad had happened that I was like, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I didn't get the job, obviously. But I am on the 3rd stage of another job.
That's good. I'm on the first of a job, but I'm not expecting much.
Oh, very good.
I'm not expecting much.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Good luck and bad and all that stuff. But yeah, so that was my.
I don't think I've ever had a job interview that bad. I've had the 2 worst job interviews I've had. One of them was both of them were ones where you think, oh, I haven't got this. Like halfway through the interview, you think, I might as well just get up and leave at this point. One of them was for the National Trust to work at a castle, doing the tourism stuff. And I had done all of like the research and stuff for the actual castle that I would be working at, and I got all of I've remembered all this stuff about it, and when it was built, all that bullshit. And then they gave me the pamphlet to another castle, gave me 30 seconds to read it, and then wanted me to sell them on the castle to visit it after 30 seconds, and it was like a 17-page pamphlet. I was like, I don't know what to do.
30 seconds reading is not even not even enough time to read and memorise. No, it's not even enough time to read it, let alone memorise it.
The guy had a stopwatch to time me 30 seconds. And then all the way through the interview, I was thinking, my leg really hurts. Like my foot is hurting so much. And I left, and I managed to cut the side of my foot all the way from my toe to my heel. and my shoe was just full of blood throughout the entire interview.
That's really weird. You must have had something really sharp in your shoe.
Yeah, I think it was new shoes, and I think there was like in the shoe where like the seams had been put together, there was like a little bit of plastic, and I think I'd like scratched all the way down, and it was bad. But
that's bad.
Yeah,
I've got two other small job interview disasters. One where I was interviewing someone, and as they got up to end the interview, they went to shake my hand and hit me in the groin.
That was on purpose,
which was a comedy moment.
Did you do like a trailer, like a a dude ranch sort of trailer where you went ooh and then bent over, or your eyes went crossed?
No, I was just like I froze, like the guy had tried to grab me or something like that. Because that's what you do. You don't really register stuff. The next one was when I was being interviewed and a woman's boob popped out of her top.
Oh no! You'd like living in a TV show.
She was wearing a shirt that was way too tight, and it was like a wrappy shirt.
Yeah.
And it just basically, flopped out. It was really embarrassing. Really embarrassing.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah, we're talking about weird cartoons, not weird real-life situations. So, Spivzy, you picked The Adventures of Paddy the Pelican.
I did pick Adventures of Paddy the Pelican.
And I was going to pick that weird episode of Mask that I always talk about, but I can't find it.
No,
and without watching the whole season, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's annoying though, isn't it? Because some of the websites that we get this stuff on, they will put like episode 1 to episode 170 million, but without putting the titles on any of them. Yeah. And because it was one of those shows where they'd show 2 or 3 in a row during one block, it's hard to know if something is episode 1 or episode 4.
Well, also, I know that it's something to do with a temple, but the amount of Mask shows that are to do with a temple.
Yeah.
Even in the first season, there was 10 episodes that had temple in the write-up, and I was like, I'm not doing this. So I picked Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, which some people would never have heard of, and I hadn't.
Yeah, I had heard of it because I'm just, in that sphere of being influenced by cartoons on the internet. And the one thing I remembered from it was people complaining about it being too ugly.
Right. Which I don't get at all.
I don't either.
Which we'll get on to. We'll get on to. But let's talk Paddy the Pelican.
Paddy the Pelican. Jeez. This show...
Possibly one of the worst things we've watched.
Yeah, probably, yeah. It's pretty bad. But it's fascinating. It is a fascinating show. I don't know how it got made. Like, literally, I don't know how anybody made this.
I don't know the process because there was barely any. Could you do an appropriation of the theme song for me, Spivzy?
Hi there, boys
and girls. It's a person laughing to a tune. Oh my God, the voiceover that tells you what is happening before you watch the cartoon.
Yeah.
And then it's repeated by the characters.
We watched the entire series of 6 episodes, the known series of 6 episodes, because I'm absolutely positive there were more that have been lost to time or possibly fire or cult activity.
Or shame.
Yeah. There are episodes where Paddy the Pelican does not appear at any point, but everybody refers to things that he has previously done, but as if we have seen these episodes, but I don't think they exist. So could this be like an early example of syndicated television, like a narrative being told through the episodes, or were they just incompetent? That is the question with Paddy the Pelican.
Well,
how much of this was intentional?
There's also this there's evidence that he was a puppet character on a syndicated, not a sort of local TV station, right?
Yeah,
like Gordon the Gopher,
or like a Bozo the Clown.
Zag. Yeah. Or if you're down in the southwest, Gus Honeybun.
Gus Honeybun. I remember it was in the West Midlands. It was Tiny from Tiny TV.
Right.
And he was like a big blue monster. He's the one I remember when I was a kid. And then if it wasn't that, it was Anton Decker, basically that character throughout the 90s for British children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the show's from the 1950s. I think we need to say that.
Yeah.
Because it is limited.
People, I've had like conflicting information on this. Like, I don't know who to trust. Like, Jerry Beck.
Who to trust?
I don't know who to trust in this. I don't know who.
Deep Throat called him.
Jerry Beck said that
Deep
there's no
Throat
evidence.
called in and...
There's no evidence of this thing. Jerry Beck said there's no evidence this show existed. Like, there's no evidence that it aired on television. But then there is people saying that it aired on ABC in 1950. But there's no evidence for that. There's no, like, concrete, this definitely did air evidence for this show. So I don't know if it was on television.
Well, it also could have been one of those things that they did the animation for and they did the audio for. Yeah. Never released it, and someone has stitched it together and released it.
Yeah, I think this might be like a CIA like job. Like, this is, you know, like they did MK Ultra. I think that if you took a certain kind of drug before watching Adventures of Paddy the Pelican, you activate.
Well, I mean, considering the amount of references to oil and trade and those sorts of
things.
Yeah,
that was weird, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised, actually. It's like a capitalists of the world unite.
Yeah, that was some of these episodes, the lore and the theming behind them is just phenomenal. Like,
well, the thing is, as well, the series is in public domain.
It is,
because the copyright has never been renewed. So I think, as a treat, littered throughout the show, we should put in some long rambling dialogue.
Yeah. Shall we go through this episode by episode? Let's start.
Yeah, please.
Start with the piggy bank robbery, the first episode of Paddy the Pelican. But
before we start, Freddie Fox.
Yeah.
You can see some of these characters are taken directly from Disney.
He's the guy from Pinocchio.
Yeah, and the crow is one of the crows from Dumbo.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Kenny Crow.
Yeah. And Kenny Crow looks a bit like Heckle and Jekyll as well. But I think Paddy the Pelican predates Heckle and Jekyll. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah.
But like, very, very recognisable designs. And it's weird that Paddy the Pelican is the titular character, like the 100% original character that they use in this. And he's the worst looking character in the show. Yeah,
he looks like he's been hit in the face with a shovel.
He looks terrible. He looks really awful.
He's like the Rocky Dennis of cartoon characters.
He is, yeah. Yeah, he
really
looks exactly like Rocky Dennis. So the three characters that we were introduced to in this are Paddy the Pelican, Kenny the Crow, and Freddie Fox. We never see Kenny Crow or Freddie Fox again at any point during the rest of these 6 episodes. No. I don't know if Freddie Fox does show up at other points, but he is established as being the villain character in this one. Like, you'd think he was like the Pete for Mickey's Pete, but we never see him again. And
he's set up as an antagonist, but not only as an antagonist, someone who hates Paddy the Pelican for some reason.
Yeah, I think he's a racist, which is
maybe
later on it's established that they all live in Pelican Land. So Paddy the Pelican is like, this is his home country. So Kenny Crow and Freddie Fox, they are immigrants, I assume. Because everybody else is a pelican.
Isn't Paddy the Pelican the king?
No. Well, it's
not very clear, is it?
His grandfather seems to work for the Grand High Chancellor.
Yeah, so but the Grand High Chancellor says, "Let's take this to the king," and then they go to see Paddy the Pelican.
Yeah, so is Paddy the Pelican the king of Pelican? That would make sense. That would make sense why it's called Pelican Land. You know, like how England is run by King Ing.
King Ing, yeah. The famous original king.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Freddie Fox in this episode has possibly the greatest monologue in cinematic history, where he is explaining his grand scheme. His scheme is to steal a piggy bank, which is why it's called the piggy bank robbery. He wants to steal a piggy bank from Kenny Crow so that he can't buy a cornfield.
So I want you to talk about this monologue, but I also want you to put it in. Yeah, I want you to put it in, because we're not going to get copyright struck for that.
I've written it down. So do you want me to actually just read out the monologue?
Yeah, do a dramatic reading for the audience.
Oh boy, this is my lucky day. I'd been wondering where I'd get some money, but I don't have to worry any further. I can play a mean trick on Kenny Crow and put the blame on Paddy Pelican. This is gonna be real great. Oh boy, I can hardly wait to get that piggy bank. Kenny Crow's not gonna get his cornfield if I can help it. I can't get one of Paddy Pelican's fingerprints, but a footprint will be just as good. I'll send him to jail where he can't bother me anymore. I'm not much of an artist, but this is one art job I can do. It's just a matter of copying. There, perfect. Now with a little mud on it, I can play a good dirty trick on him. Oh boy, this is gonna be good work. That hurt. Wow. I better get that piggy bank and get out of here in a hurry. Say, that's clever. Nobody would ever find this without knowing about it. Boy, this is heavier than I thought. Kenny Crow won't get his cornfield, but I'm going to live for quite a while and put the blame on Paddy Pelican. He'll never be able to squirm out of this one. His own footprints will prove it. Oh boy, this is one of the smartest schemes I ever figured out. There's no way in the world I can get into trouble. It's perfect. And that is like a third of the episode.
It is worth saying that the animation is unfinished, largely repeated, and they obviously animated it before they'd written a script.
Yes, yeah. All of the script is ad-libbed. It's all improvised.
Because the animation, they are ad-libbing because they have to fill the time that the character is moving their mouth, and they are moving their mouth at every single time they're on the frame.
Yeah, constantly. So they couldn't stop talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but
Kenny Crow and Paddy Pelican don't stop talking either when they're on screen. Yeah. They just don't shut up at any point. It's infuriating.
Yeah. There's no time for any character to have a reaction. No. And there is a lot of like, oh boy, gee whiz, well, Willikers, we gotta do this thing. And
and just and because they didn't animate most of the stuff that's happening, the characters will explain they talk like Crash Space Danger. They explain everything that they're doing at any point. And they've all got really, really annoying voices. Because
there's no good voice actor.
Because Sam Singer, the guy who created and produced and did all the art and the voice work for this, he wasn't a voice actor. You can tell very clearly that he was not a voice actor. He can do 3 voices. He can do Paddy Pelican. He can do a half sort of dumb guy voice that he pulls out every so often, and then he can do Freddie Fox's voice, and that's it. Those are the 3 voices he does.
Based on the quality of the product, I would imagine that the dumb guy voice is his natural voice.
Yeah. Take that, Sam Singer.
Yeah, you dead man. I mean, I hope he's dead because
he is. If he wasn't, he would be 111 years old. I think 114 years old.
My God, if this is your legacy.
Yeah, I mean. He did work on some other cartoons. This wasn't his only rodeo. He worked on a show called, I've completely forgotten the name of it, The Adventures of
Pow Wow.
Pow Wow, yeah, super racist cartoon from the 50s, which is on Captain Kangaroo. So that's something. It seems like all of his work was a bit racist, because there's elements of Paddy the Pelican where it gets into some dicey territory.
There is elements of all cartoons produced from the 50s and 40s and 50s that have a little touch of racism, like Peter Pan, Tom and Jerry. It's very easy to fall into that well at the time. He was an executive producer for Hanna-Barbera.
He was, and he was an executive producer for the cartoon that Bob Kane made, which was parodying Batman and Robin. Courageous Cat and Minute Mouse. I assume it's minute. Yep. I don't think it would be Minute Mouse, would it?
No, it's minute.
Yeah, it'd be minute. He works on that, which I didn't know existed until a couple of days ago.
No, is that the thing with the frog? That talking about
Chauncey.
Toad, whatever it is. Chauncey the frog. Or
Toad, Chauncey Flat-Faced Frog. He's my new favourite character because he looks like a little freak. He looks like a little gremlin.
Look like a little freak.
I love him.
What I hate about this cartoon as well is that everything's organ music.
Oh yeah, it's like 3 chords. It just goes on and on and on. There's no real everything that is every aspect of creating a cartoon that you could possibly think of is done wrong in this cartoon. Like this should be taught in schools on what not to do. It's everything is bad.
Doing the animation before a script is
it's
just insanity.
It's counting your chickens before they hatch, isn't it?
Well, it's why some of the like the 60s Stan Lee, Jack Kirby issues of Marvel just don't hold up in any real way.
Yeah, because the Marvel method was completely insane.
Yeah, do the art before the script.
Yeah.
Like Stan Lee used to say to Jack Kirby, just do this. Just like, few establishing shots, argument, fight, resolution.
Yeah.
And I'll figure it out. Okay.
So,
but this is the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like they were animating on the fly.
Yeah, it was a terrible strain on the animator's wrists. This episode ends with them catching out Freddy Fox really easily because they figure out that the footprints that Freddy Fox had planted to frame Paddy Pelican were facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, they're muddy leading from the safe.
Yeah. This is one of two things in these episodes which make me think that Sam Singer thought he was a more intelligent writer than he actually is, and he thought this is like I'm being Agatha Christie. I'm writing a Miss Marple here. Like, this is going to be, people are going to watch this and think, wow, I never noticed that. That's blown my mind wide open. He's like the 1950s answer to Ryan Johnson. What's his name? The guy who made
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah. He's like the answer to that. But he's not. It doesn't make any sense. No. It's really, really dumb. No. And then Kenny Crow beats him. He throws a piggy bank and knocks him out cold. And that's it.
Yeah,
that's how the episode
there's a lot of fighting in these cartoons. Fighting with an N.
Yeah,
ending in an N, not a G.
There's
a lot of slugging.
The second episode, Two Wet Bears, was the least interesting.
Awful.
Terrible. It was just really
so
boring.
Bad.
My favourite part was when there's a boat and they're doing that whole, we need to keep talking, where he's saying, there's a boat over there, we need to check out the boat, but there's nobody in the boat. Maybe they fell down. Maybe they're lying down at the bottom of the boat. Let's go check out the boat. There's nobody in the boat. It just goes on and on and on.
I liked because they had to pad the scene before the boat hit the rocks.
Yeah.
The animated boat, which is animated with 2 frames of animation up and down, is just there for about 30 seconds while the bears talk. It's not making any progress or anything.
I thought that the introduction to the episode was so funny as well, where they had to have some reason why the 2 bears, Amos and Buster, were at sea without a boat. And they're just having a swim. They're just swimming in the ocean, in the middle of the ocean.
Hi there, boys and girls. Let's join Amos and Buster Bear as they swim far out into the blue, blue ocean, looking for adventure.
It is awful.
Really bad.
I don't understand what the point of this one is.
I don't either.
At least the first one had a story.
I think this was like... I feel... Were they... trying to establish that Paddy Pelican is a hero, like he's looking out for the little guy, because he shows up out of nowhere to assist them. So he's even meant to be like a superhero character.
Gets in Beachcomber Bill's face.
Beachcomber
flaps
Bill
around a little.
Beachcomber Bill, he's got the same voice as Paddy Pelican.
Yeah, it was hard to know who was talking.
Yeah.
It's weird that What is... So, basically, the bears are swimming, a storm comes, they take the boat, the beachcomber is angry, then the bears get away. That is literally the point of the episode.
That's the whole episode.
Absolute
and
nonsense.
Beachcomber Bill, it seems to be stranded on the island, but why was his boat out at sea?
Yeah. And he's angry that they took the boat. They brought the boat to him.
Yeah, that was weird. Yeah.
Why would you be angry about that?
What was the theming here? That's what I want to know. What was he thinking when he made this episode?
I don't think he was.
I think he was.
He decided to do something. This makes me think that this is like the second part of something.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not.
Yeah. Yeah, very weird.
It's awful.
Hi there, boys and girls. Let's go see Amos and Buster the Bear who are swimming in the ocean. Why are they there? Where did they... Yeah, it's a weird one.
What really made me laugh is that Beachcomber Bill threatens to eat the 2 grizzly bears.
Yeah, in a pot.
That is an empty threat. Empty threat. 2 grizzly bears?
Yeah. 2 grizzly bears who know how to swim. So, like, you're done for, mate.
Yeah,
like, you're not standing a chance.
Absolutely done. And they are malnourished. They would eat you in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
literally the worst story I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it just didn't make any sense. It was so bad. The obligatory Paddy the Pelican cameo as well was like, good God.
Yeah. I also, I did think when I was watching this, are the voices that he's doing for the bears a bit racist?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be like white approximation of dumb black guy.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
Like, the sort of like the voice that Tom puts on when he is in blackface.
Yeah. It was like that, yeah. Yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
That was
it seemed
a bad
very jazz singer, Al Jolson jazz singer.
Yeah.
It seemed like the bears were supplicants for like dumb black people.
Yeah.
That's what they were trying to go for, and it was uncomfortable.
It was, yes. I didn't like this episode.
No. I mean, it was almost as bad as Pirate Pete.
Pirate Pete was bad. The third episode, before we get to Pirate Pete, was The Land of More, which this one,
weird.
I think he was trying to do like a storybook thing now. He was trying to establish that they live in Storyland, so he could use like public domain characters like Tom Thumb and
Jack
Peter
Horner.
Piper, Jack Horner, all that lot.
Yeah. Swan-ear.
The lesson in this one was so funny because Tom Thumb, he's not doing anything wrong. He just wanted a balloon. Like he was promised a big balloon and he got given a small balloon and he was a bit annoyed about it. And for that crime, this horrible thing that he has done, a gremlin appears, a gnome, and just like monkey's paw punishes the poor kid.
Yeah.
Tortures him. He didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, he makes the balloon so big that it blows up his house.
Yeah.
In a really weird animation that is reversed later, but not before being shown again, which is weird. So the balloon bursts the house. I don't know how the boy is still alive because he's pressed up against... This is one of the bits that I was like, for God's sake, just stop talking. It's like, oh, this balloon is getting so big. Oh, it's squishing me. Oh, it's going to blow up my house. Oh, balloon, big balloon. Ow, ow. And it was like, Jesus Christ, I can see what's happening.
And afterwards, after he's gone through this like traumatic event, Tom Thumb doesn't seem particularly bothered.
Yes, he doesn't give a shit that
He
his
doesn't
house
care.
is destroyed.
And it's, he's just taking everything in his stride. He's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I shouldn't have wished for a big balloon. You're right, little gnome man. But I want to live here now in the land of More. Well, if you want to live in the land of More, you got to eat this candy. Okay, I wish that I had some candy. Here you go. It's giant candy, you little bitch. Fuck you.
I can't put that in my mouth. Well, bite a bit off, you idiot.
I can't eat all of this candy. There's too much of it. I can't. I want to go to sleep instead. If I can't eat candy, I want to go to bed.
That was the funniest bit.
Well, if you're going to go to bed, you got to sleep in this giant bed where you'll go to sleep for 100 years, you little bitch. Leave him alone.
100 years. Okay.
Yeah, fine.
Okay, I'll take it. 100 years sleep. I'll have that. Yeah.
Maybe you'll be dead by the time I wake up.
I want a chocolate milk. I want a chocolate milk. Okay, I'll make you the biggest chocolate milk you've ever seen. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
I'll just have the amount I need.
Yeah. And he makes the giant chocolate milk and he says, I can't drink this. The glass is too tall. Climb up it. You moron.
Yeah. Yeah.
The land of More. Like, that doesn't mean that things are big.
Also, the Land of More sounds like a great place.
It does.
Yes,
it sounds
could
fantastic.
I have enough grain for 100 million people, please? Okay, I've solved world hunger.
Yeah.
Thank you, gnome.
But if you said, can I have enough grain for 100 million people, would the gnome say, well, this is the Land of More, so you've got enough grain for 100 million people? Take
Probably.
that.
So I'd ask her, take that, economy.
That's the lesson in this one. It's about the economy. It's about trade.
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
These all feel like slightly capitalist messages.
They
Don't
do.
let black people on a boat was the message of Two Wet Bears, apparently.
Yep. Don't use banks was the lesson in piggyback robbery.
Yeah. Spend. Don't save, poor people. You'll never get out of the bottom rung, so just spend, you stupid idiots.
Yeah. And the lesson in the land
how did they get off the island in the end?
He gets off the Land of More because he wishes for a giant parachute. And it crushes him.
And then he makes a giant wind to get the parachute off of him.
Yeah, he tricks.
And he lands back on his own
and
land.
the little gnome boy, says, "No, don't wish for wind. That's the one thing you shouldn't wish for. That's going to ruin my plans. Just make it a really, really big wind. Don't send him back home. Like, I think
Give him wind.
give him wind. Yeah, just farts himself away. That would have been great. I would have liked that in Fort Awesome. That could have been in that." So he makes a giant parachute and he just goes back home. And then he says, "Oh, you were right. I shouldn't have wished for a big balloon. I've learnt my lesson that I shouldn't wish for big things. I want my little house back."
Exactly the way it was.
Yeah, because I've learnt that even though it's small, I really like small things now. That wasn't the lesson to begin with. You liked your house. At no point in the start of the episode does he say, "I hate small balloons and I hate my small house and I wish it would blow up."
I'm unsatisfied with my lot in life. He never said that.
No. I think they came up with the lesson on the fly when they were just recording the voices. They just said, we should probably have some kind of moral at the end of this. That'll get us on the TV.
But then you've got to make him greedy at the start.
Yeah, he's not greedy.
You've got to be like, all the other kids got a balloon, but I deserve a bigger one. I'm much smarter than those kids. I'm much bigger than those kids. I'm much,
Why is he Tom's
greedier
son?
than those kids. Don't know.
Shouldn't this have had something to do with, like, being small?
Maybe he could have been a small guy who was like, everyone's taller than me, everyone's stronger than me. Why is life so unfair? My house is small.
Yeah, my house is too big. I'm only a little guy. I can't get on the furniture. Yeah, they could have done. They could have done something that made a bit more sense, but I think they must have. I think they wrote this during the recording process. So
I don't understand why the gnome gives his house back the way it was.
No, I don't either. Shouldn't he have like given him a bigger house?
Has he learned a lesson?
Yeah, what lesson? What lesson did he learn? Don't want for anything because you get tortured. Yeah, don't talk to gnomes.
Learn your lot in life, poor person.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Yeah, it's what is it? Is it that Christian fundamentalist ideology that ended up in the witch hunts? Where it was like the rich people are rich because they were ordained that way by Christ, and poor peasants are peasants because of the same thing. Is it Jacobian? I don't remember, but it's that. I can't remember. It's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
That was ridiculous. A bad one. The next one is even worse. Pirate Pete. Yeah. This one's just racist. Oh my god! I couldn't.
This one's horrible. Racist, and it's Mile a Minute.
Yeah, and
like
it's a sequel somehow.
Yeah, they're in a temple that is somehow drawing in smoke from everywhere, and the three, Joko and Mary and the captain,
voiced by the same person except for Mary, who was voiced by an unnamed actress who was not very
actually but probably the best of the bunch.
Yeah, she had a very enunciated radio show voice.
Yeah, I thought she was potentially a 1950s radio star.
Yeah, I did as well. Yeah.
Because she actually had some... she was awful, but she had some sort of like gravitas to her voice where it sounded like she'd been an actor before.
Yeah. There goes Pirate Pete on his boat. It was that sort of like...
Yeah.
over the top
at least, they were enunciating it. Like in radio dramas from the 50s.
Yeah.
Like, Flash Gordon, you're there!
Yeah. Here I am.
You're right in front of me. How did you get there, Flash?
That's my favourite thing in adverts adverts on radio for refrigerator insurance or something, where they're talking like, "Oh, I just got the new insurance for my fridge. Is that the fridge insurance that you can get from fridgesinsurance.com? Available now for only $14.99 a month. That's the one."
Yes.
I think it's so funny. I have to put all of this information into the dialogue.
Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah.
Just like this makes no sense. This
I couldn't work it out. This was a part. It must have been part 2 of something, because
the opening line is like, "Get down low where the smoke won't come. The air's purified down there, man."
And then they meet the most racist depiction of a Native American that I've ever seen in a cartoon.
Yeah,
like holy shit.
He looks like Wimpy from Popeye, but just with a feather out of his head.
Yeah, doing really just poor broken English. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Really, really terrible.
They say Injun, don't they, as well?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was real bad.
It was bad. And then the pirate who is stealing the gold from the Native Americans, but also Aztecs, because they're the same thing.
Yep.
Talks in rhyme.
Yeah, he talks in rhyme.
He's like Etrigan the Demon.
Yeah. Really bad rhyme as well, because it took me a while to realise that he was speaking in rhyme.
Yeah. Halfway through, I was like, oh, he's talking in rhymes.
Well, he said like, I've got a boat on which I'll float, you little scrote.
Yeah, he did say that.
He did.
He said something like that. Oh, wow.
And then the lesson that they learn is that if Pirate Pete hadn't been so greedy and only robbed a small portion of gold from the Native Americans, his boat wouldn't have sunk. So the lesson there was, again, don't take more than you deserve, because Pirate Pete should only have stolen a small amount of gold. Then he would have been fine. Not
thieving in small amounts.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah,
to avoid the IRS.
Paddy the Pelican makes his cameo at the end of the episode, as per usual, with somebody pointing into the sky and saying, "Look, there goes Paddy the Pelican. That's the pelican that I saw, which was an omen of good luck." And the episode ends. That's it. You see Paddy just flying past. Really
quality
bizarre
cameo.
Yeah.
I feel like they were going for like an albatross, and then he was like, no, we could get Paddy the Pelican in here.
Yeah. This must have been for a different show. It has to have been.
Well, the designs of the characters are again very Disney.
Yeah.
Like if you look at them, the funniest thing for me was when the captain says to the pirate, "Well, we'll save you, but as long as you throw your swords overboard." And then the pirate does a dance, like pointing a finger out, and then all this rain of swords come across the bow of the ship.
It was
and
wild.
Then they don't save the pirates; they let them drown.
Yeah, just awful criminals. Yeah, it was bad. So, like, the heroes in this episode were a bunch of racists who were fighting with people stealing from Native Americans, and then they murder people. But then Paddy the Pelican shows up, and everything, all is well. This one reminded me a bit of like a Famous Five episode.
Yeah, Famous Five, murder some pirates.
Yeah. With lashings
and be casually racist.
Lashings of ginger beer as the murdering the pirates.
Swanee are foiled again.
This was my favourite. This was my favourite episode.
Absolutely batshit insane.
The lore that we get. We learn that Paddy the Pelican lives in Pelican Land, which is a neighbouring country to Swania, who appear to be subjugating the pelicans.
Yeah.
By threatening them with overrule
subjugation
if they don't give them 50 bushels of corn. Corn
that they borrowed at some point.
Corn seems to be the second primary resource in Pelican Land alongside oil and gold.
But corn is very, very expensive.
Yeah, corn is highly sought after.
Corn is hard to grow, but it's very fast. You could get 50 bushels, like with decent agricultural knowledge, in about a month, probably.
Yeah.
If you own your own country.
Yeah. But magic seems to exist in Pelican Land. If we are to assume that the Land of More episode took place in Pelican Land, because in the episode after this, we do meet other storybook characters who do associate with Paddy the Pelican. So I'm assuming that it is all one connected universe in one land. So could they not just use magic to make the bushels of corn?
They could have gone to the Land of More and asked for 1 bushel of corn.
Yeah, and they'd say, "Oh, you want 1 bushel of corn, eh? Well, here's 10,000. Okay,
thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, creepy gnome.
The worst businessman in Pelican Land.
We also learned that Pelican Land is ruled by a Grand Chancellor. It's a very that is a strange one. That is an odd choice. They could have gone with Prime Minister, but no. They went with Grand Chancellor.
Very Nazi with it.
Yeah. They have a dungeon which has not been in use for a long time, but it does establish that at some point they did lock political prisoners in dungeons in Pelican Land. Yep. Presumably during the Pelican Swania War that they had. Which I assume was like their analogue to World War II.
They used corn gas in the trenches.
Paddy Pelican fought in Korea.
Croea.
Oh no, Korea hadn't happened yet, had it? It was 1950.
No, that's true.
Oh yeah, this was a foreshadowing. It was real life foreshadowing. Sam Singer saw the writing on the wall. He knew it was going to happen.
What a prophet of our time.
He was. So the bad thing in this episode is that somebody has stolen the 50 bushels of corn.
Just before it was going to be transferred.
Yeah, and Paddy the Pelican, who is a detective, apparently. He's going to do his detective work. He's the only one who can help, according to Periwinkle, his grandfather.
I mean, he did solve the case of clearing his own name in the first episode, so that must have got around.
Yeah. He's the smartest being on Pelican Land.
Which isn't saying much, is it?
A load of bullshit happens. That
is an accurate assessment.
And it turns out that the Grand High Chancellor, he was the one stealing the bushels of corn because he was secretly a swan. And this is my major issue with this episode, and also the reason why I love it so much. The Grand High Chancellor was stealing the bushels of corn which were going to be sent to Swania so that he could take them to his boat and send them to Swania.
Yeah.
And at the end of the episode, Paddy the Pelican shows up and says, I'm going to take your bushels of corn away from you, off your boat. We're going to take it to my boat so that we can send it to exactly the same place.
No, before that, he picks up a sack and says, oh, this sack's the same colour as the sky. I can use it to camouflage myself. And then he flies in from the other direction so I can only see him. He flew around the earth to attack him. But the Grand High Chancellor instantly sees him. He's like, oh, it's Paddy the Pelican up in the sky. He's going to catch me. Oh, gee willikers. And then they fight. But then he takes him to the dungeon, takes him to the storage room to put the bags back, and then says, right, now let's go off to the docks.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, was that a lesson? I think that was a lesson that Sam Singer was giving on a proper bureaucratic process. Like,
yes, absolutely.
You can't just take it to the dock from where it's been stolen. We need to take it to the storage facility so that we can properly log that we had the bushels of corn in our storage to then take to the docks.
Nobody's been logging the fact that this High Chancellor was a swan.
No.
They didn't do any background checks on electing a leader.
Yeah, how did he get elected? Do they elect a Grand High Chancellor, or is it like a military position? Did he just
Did we
rise
mention
through the
that
ranks?
he wore a fake part of his beak?
He had a fake pelican beak.
It wasn't even a fake beak. It was a fake little bit at the bottom. Because he was wearing a bow.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he wearing a bow? And then I noticed the string and I was like, oh, it's a fake beak.
Jeez. So that was a good one. That was a good episode. I enjoyed that one.
Odd one.
Let's
talk about Plum Valley.
Plum Valley.
It was so stupid. It was
Plum
so
Valley.
expositional.
Yeah.
It was so expositional. And the voiceover is like, back in your 50 bushels of corn were taken from blah, 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 blah. And then instantly, Periwinkle explains it all. Like, where's these 50 bushels of corn that we need to give to Swania? Because if we don't, we're going to be subjugated.
We're going to be put to work in their mines, in their swan mines. I just want there to be peace between Pelican Land and Swania.
Who doesn't?
Plum Valley.
Just have 25 bushels of corn each.
Yeah. That's like some should the dog be torn in half so that one can be given to one man and the other to the other so they don't fight anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember that story is. I can't remember who it is.
They're both tortured by the sight of having a dog torn in half in front of them.
Yeah.
And then they never fight again.
Yeah. That is the lesson that should have been learned in Swania Foiled. Swania Foiled again? When did they foil them the first time?
They didn't. They entered into an agreement where they borrowed...
Yeah.
At no point was Swania foiled.
No, they got what they wanted.
Yeah, they only wanted the terms of the contract that was set out.
Yeah.
They wanted their corn returned. They didn't even ask for interest.
No, if anything, Pelican Land was on the losing end of this. They never even got to eat the corn. What was the point in borrowing corn?
They did, they borrowed corn, and then I suppose there must have been some sort of famine, and then they got back on their feet and grew some more corn.
Yeah, So much lore.
When pelicans realise that they actually eat fish.
Yeah, we can't eat corn.
Why did we even take this?
We live next to the ocean. There are bears living here.
It's salmon spawning season. Why have we got corn? Who ordered corn?
So it's the next episode, the final of the 6th, Plum Valley. We learn again, there's another famine. There's a plum shortage in Pelican Land. There's no plums.
No one's got plums.
Nobody's got the plums.
No one.
Then Jack Horner, who he makes
Tits.
plum pies now.
He does make plum.
He makes plum
Just
pies.
make something else for the month.
Yeah. But no, he's known for making plum pies. He even says like when he was a kid and he stuck his thumb in a pie, in a plum pie. He says, "At that moment, I knew that I was always destined to be a pie maker." Like
Deep history. A pie. He says a pie maker though. He does not say
a plum
pie maker.
Yeah.
Just swap the ingredients. You fucking idiot.
When he goes off to try to purchase some plums at the market, he talks to that man, and I wrote the line down in Discord because it made me laugh so much. I'll see if I can find it again. He says, "Nobody ever goes to Plum Valley. Lots of people have gone, but they never come back."
It doesn't make any sense.
Nobody's ever gone to Plum Valley, but lots of people have gone to Plum Valley.
No one's here. Why is everyone here?
Yeah. And then they go to Plum Valley and it's fine. It's like,
I don't
it's slippy.
understand the whole bit where Paddy the Pelican is like, "Oh, you shouldn't go there. You definitely shouldn't go there. You definitely shouldn't go there. I'm going to come along with you."
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, write a script.
It's like, oh, you don't want to go to Plum Valley. Plum Valley's the worst place in the world. There's everybody who goes there gets murdered horribly. We keep finding their bones. We don't want to go to Plum Valley. You know what? I've decided I'm coming to Plum Valley with you.
I love when he abandons the truck as well.
Yeah.
At the slippery road. Oh, it's getting too slippery. I'll see you later. Bye.
He just dives out.
Oh
Wild card bitches. He just jumps out the back of the truck.
And then the truck arrives perfectly safe.
Yeah. And there's a witch. There's a witch living in Plum Valley.
Who looks suspiciously like the gnome.
Yeah. Maybe they know each other. Maybe
they know each other.
Shit. There's a witch, and the witch is an oil baron, apparently.
It's an oil baron. It's like Plum Valley by way of Kuwait. Makes no sense. She's got an oil derrick.
She's got an oil derrick.
She's growing plums in the middle of an oil field. Why?
Why is this the only place you can grow plums? Why couldn't why doesn't Jack Horner have his own plum tree? If it's like whole business hinges on the idea of growing plums to have in his plum pies. Why? And also, why had he never heard of Plum Valley?
No, but like, there is no reason why you can't grow your own plum trees because it's not even the part of the fruit that you eat. No, it's the part you throw away.
It's the stone. Just keep the stones.
Just plant some stones,
Jack.
you fucking idiot.
It's the only character with intelligence in this entire show is Paddy the Pelican.
And even then,
it's like it's a low bar.
there is a egregious reuse of animation from other episodes in this one. Yeah,
there was.
The fly-in scene, the angry scene. Oh, we haven't mentioned the guy who animated this, Sam Singer.
Sam Singer, yeah.
Had a real thing about other people's reflections in your eyes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Weird.
Really weird.
Weird.
The thing is, this came out after that other cartoon he made, the Powwow one.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Don't know. He still kept his hatred for Native Americans.
He did,
but...
yeah. Really bizarre. We can't even rate this properly, because it is beyond rateability.
I would recommend everyone watched it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so hilarious for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
You probably need to, if you've listened to this and you found it funny, watch it again, because all the things we've pointed out will seem funnier. So it might be worth doing it this way around.
Yeah. You can watch the whole thing in like half an hour. The episodes are 5 minutes long.
We haven't even mentioned how the episode ends. They gravel over the road that they can't, that they slip down so they can get back out of it. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they cover
really
the witch
simple.
in oil.
Yeah. Oh, there's the bit where she like threatens to cover Paddy the Pelican in oil and says like, I'm going to cover you in oil, then you won't be able to fly like a pelican covered in oil. Well, yeah.
And then he's covered in oil. I can only assume he dies at the end of this one.
Yeah. That's why it's episode 6.
He flies through the oil about 3 times in the episode. Did you
Weird.
know that Sam Singer had a colouring book published called
Yes.
The Paddy Pelican Story, and the colour Macabook? He
Macabook,
didn't spell
yeah.
make right.
Yeah. And the only copy in existence belongs to the Michigan State University Library. It's like
it's also public
national
domain.
treasure.
Yeah.
There's codes
Stuff like
hidden.
this is so weird.
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Like, there's an SCP based on Paddy the Pelican, which is an episode that responds to the person watching it, which I think is very, very fun. I really love things like that.
Wow. I mean, it's insane. You've got to put some random monologues just randomly in the episode to let people know what we're talking about, because it is insane.
Yeah, characters just do not shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and they say contradictory things. They say the same thing 4 times in the same sentence. Weird.
Really
weird.
Amazing.
If
amazing.
I had to rate it on a unintentionally funny rating system, I'd probably give it an 8.
Yeah.
But on a product rating, a 1.
Yeah,
an
1.
Absolute 1.
Yeah, this show has a 1.5 on IMDb.
I think that's generous.
I do as well. Yeah, it deserves it. It definitely deserves it.
It's not as offensive to me as that Polish cat thing we watched.
Oh yeah,
what was it called?
Bad Cat.
Bad Cat. That was the worst thing I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, that was awful.
Just awful. I hated myself watching it.
Yeah,
but
this show is trash garbage. It's a piece of shit, but I really enjoyed watching it. I thought it was really funny.
It was just batshit insane.
Yeah, you know when people do those things like Shrek Reanimated, or like they should do it with this. They should they should get a load of YouTubers together and get them to reanimate Paddy the Pelican, like
Perhaps
the first episode.
That could be our new project that we're going to do. The Paddy the Pelican radio show.
Yeah, we're bringing him back. He's public domain. We can. Nobody can stop us.
We'll get Paul. We'll get Matt. We'll get everyone.
Yeah.
From the TTOS crew, we'll bring them all back and do Paddy the Pelican. It's a 1. It is just so bad.
It's
so
awful.
bad. Yeah. The worst writing I've ever seen in a cartoon.
I think it's generous to call it writing.
Yeah, it's true. It's ad-libbed on the fly. But, like, weird in the same sort of batshit insane way that stuff like Freddy FR07 and
Freddy Frot. Yeah.
Just weird. Like, why? Just why? Is my big takeaway from it. Why?
I'm glad it exists, but
yeah,
I hate that it exists.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's almost like a precautionary tale.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. Right, shall we take a break and come back and talk about some Secret Mountain Fort Awesome?
Yeah.
Which I do struggle to say the name every time.
I do as well. Yeah, I keep wanting to call it Secret Fort Awesome Mountain.
Yeah. Well, have fun with yet another monologue that Spivzy's going to put in here. Maybe some pirate rhyming.
Yeah, I'll put some of Pirate Pete in, as long as there's nothing racist.
Float, you scrote. See you in a bit.
Wearing a coat.
Golly, it's growing. Why, it's going to be the biggest toy balloon in the whole world. That's enough. Hey, don't grow it anymore. Stop it. I said stop it. Oh, Mr. Gnome, please make it stop growing. Oh, please. Please. Oh, please. Please, Mr. Gnome, please. Oh.
You're getting what you wish for, and I hope you're happy with it. Yeah.
Stop growing. Stop growing. If you get any larger, you're going to break right through my little house. Oh, don't. Oh.
Welcome back, Toonheads. We're talking weird cartoons. Speaking of weird, I watched the first episode of Devil May Cry on Netflix. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, because
right.
he's gone insane and he's hanging out with Asmongold, the Nazi. So
Yeah.
I'm not
right,
watching
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what the theme song is?
Yeah, it's Limp Bizkit, isn't it?
It's Rollin' by
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit. And I was like, I got to the title sequence and it was like, hands up or hands down. And I was like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally turned off the iPad and was like, no thanks.
Yeah,
We don't need to revisit that point in history.
They've managed to upset basically every kind of fan of Devil May Cry with that cartoon.
Wow.
Like, nobody's happy.
Yeah. Wow, that is something.
Yeah. Which
but
I'm not watching because I love Devil May Cry. I think they're great. I think they're really good games.
Yeah, they're really good games. And they've got a real sense of humour about them, like Bayonetta.
Yeah.
I feel like a Bayonetta X Devil May Cry would be a really good mashup game.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Like, stick them in the same game, have them as sort of like he's hunting a witch. Oh, it's Bayonetta, but they're hunting the same big bad.
Yeah, why don't they do stuff like that more often? Why don't we get crossover games? I mean, it's probably because games cost like $250 million to produce.
Yeah. I mean, $80 for... We're well late on this, but $80 for Nintendo games. I mean...
I'm not getting a Switch 2, that's for damn sure.
Well, the thing is, as well, there's absolutely no need.
No.
The Switch is really good as a little indie games machine. It's almost like... if you've got one, treating it like a Steam Deck for physical media. That's how I treat mine now. I've got like Binding of Isaac and all those sorts of games, Stardew Valley, that I wanted on physical.
Yeah.
And at some point, I'm going to get a Steam Deck for like Deep Rock Galactic and games like that I feel like I want to play handheld. But I'm not in any rush. I'm not in no means any rush to get the Switch 2. I feel like we need to put our foot down and say, no, we're not interested until it comes down in price.
Yeah, I mean,
because it is ridiculous.
The the announcement video was super strange because they had like 3 games and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're really hyping it up and it's like, oh, you can play Mario Kart and the wheelchair basketball game, which is really weird to me because... They have made the wheelchair basketball game be controlled by the least accessible method of controlling a game that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It
doesn't.
You need to be able to move both arms on a flat surface to be able to play the game. That is terrible.
The only thing that interests me, really, is the new mouse control element to it. I think that's quite fascinating that you could use a Joy-Con like a mouse. But if you're doing that, you're just using a mouse and keyboard anyway. Yeah,
I think it's stupid. I think it's really, really dumb. I think it's going to be one of them things where they're not going to use it after 3 months. There's going to be like 10 games that use it and then they're like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Like they did with motion controls on the Wii and like they did with the 3D on the 3DS. And like they did with the touchpad on the Wii U, or the touchpad on the Switch. Have you ever played a game that uses the touchpad on the Switch? No. I
didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, it's a touch screen.
Wow. I've never done that.
No.
I think. Oh no, I did accidentally do it on what's the card game that's based on Inuit?
I've got no idea.
Do you know the one I mean?
Not.
It's like Slay the Spire, but cartoony, and it's got like
Frost something. Is it like both?
Frost Peak?
It might be Frost Peak. I don't know. I know the one you mean.
But it was great. It's great.
I
did
not
play
as
a
good
lot as Slay the Spire.
Yeah. I played a lot of it, but I can't remember what it's called.
No, Frost. It doesn't matter.
No.
People are screaming at us. We can't go back in time. Anyway, weird prices. We're going to talk about weird cartoons, and our second pick is Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, a cartoon that I'd never heard of, but looked at some reviews, the worst reviewed things. Looked at this and thought, why is it the worst reviewed thing? And then I watched it, and I still don't understand why it's the worst reviewed.
I don't either. This show was awesome. I loved it.
It was so good. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was
genuinely one of the biggest surprises I think we've had on Toonhounds.
Yeah, like I can only assume that the people giving it a poor review were filthy cowards. That's the only way I can think of, because there is nothing wrong with this show. It's not ugly. It's just
it's awesome.
Yeah, it
reminds
just looks
me
like
a little bit of.
And it's an underground comic in animated form. This is like
it. Reminds me of Our Real Monsters, the animation.
Yeah, I got a lot of Sheep in the Big City vibes from it.
Yep.
And there's the like Adventure Time vibes in it as well.
Yeah.
Like, you can see elements of Chowder, Regular Show, Flapjack. Like,
yeah,
it was great. It looked great. I don't know what people's big deal with it was. I don't get it.
I can understand people would be like, oh, there's a lot of like stupid, gross out.
There's a lot of
toilet humor. Yeah. But to be honest, I thought that they were restrained enough that when they used it, it was actually funny. Yeah. Like one of the characters is made of butts.
Yeah, and he's named
They
the
didn't
fart.
overuse it, but they didn't overuse it.
No.
Right. So, created by Peter Braungart for Cartoon Network in 2011, based off of some of his work. What are they called? What were they called? The people, the monsters. They were called the Disgustoids.
The Disgustoids, yeah.
They were already used in his Uncle Grandpa short for Cartoon Network, for the Cartoon Institute.
Yes. I will say, though, I hate Uncle Grandpa. I think it's terrible. I don't think it's...
Yeah, I never really vibed with Uncle Grandpa either.
Not funny.
So it didn't do well, was panned, only lasted 26 episodes, and I genuinely am confused because the plot's interesting. Like, the basic premise is the Disgustoids are a race of monsters that live subterraneously, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
They're grotesque, they're badly behaved, and they live in a underground but somehow mountain fort. And there's 5 characters. The leader, who is a purple monster with big fangs who wears Y-fronts, called Festro, who is like... He's like Drax, if you've ever listened to TTOS. He's like macho. He's
Drac.
Like, what did I say? Drax?
Yeah, you
Drac.
got his name wrong.
Drax the Destroyer. But he's like Drac from TTOS, where he's like macho, can't envision doing anything wrong, but oddly sensitive. You've got Slog, who is like a weird furry monkey, who is like... He's really loyal, but like stupid. Then
he was. Slog was like the what's the guy? I can never remember the names of characters. The little kid in Wild Thornberries. Donnie.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was
then
him.
You had Gweelock, who's like disgusting. He's like a ball of phlegm.
He was my favourite character.
Arms,
Gweelock was
but
my
he's
favourite.
got acne.
He's just like
and
a pustulant ball with human arms. It's great. Love him.
And he's a genius, but like a weird genius. And he's voiced by Paul Rudd, which really confused me for a minute because I was like, Paul Rudd? Then you've got the Fart, who's a giant monster made of arses, basically. He farts whenever he's touched. His hands are butts. His feet are butts. He propels himself through the air with farts. But he's like the normal person. He's the most human.
Yeah.
And then you've got Slog, who... Slog. Dingle. Who is like a blue golem who's like a dog who can talk, but only they can understand him.
Yeah, and he's like really he's one of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's a Taz.
Yeah, absolutely. And we watched the first 2 episodes, which were Teleporter Potty and Monster Cops.
Monster Cops
and I am going
killed me.
to watch all of these because I watched another one after and it was just as good. So Teleporter Potty. The basic idea is they want to eat pizza non-stop.
Yeah.
So Gweelock builds a teleporting toilet to take them through realities to find a pizza tree.
This is an immediately fantastic way to establish the dynamic of the characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's great. Festro, he just wants to eat pizza. Gweelock shows up and says, I've built a teleporting toilet. Like, that is all we need to know. And like, it's immediate as well. Like, I didn't recognise where the theme song ended and where the actual episode had begun.
No. And I don't think you're ever supposed to.
No.
But basically they then lose the teleporter potty and get stuck in another universe where they have to defeat a villain to reclaim another toilet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that they call up the pizza place. He says, Festro says it's 30 minutes or it's 3, and then turns the clock 30 minutes ahead, and it's like, they hate us. Why do humans hate us so much? And I was like, right, I'm in.
He crushes the clock and throws it into a pile of crushed clocks. So many times has he done this?
They only had to wait 29 minutes.
Yeah.
But they immediately decide, like, no, the humans hate us. And it goes over to a picture of Ronald Reagan. Why do these humans hate us so much?
He's just got a framed picture of Ronald Reagan on the wall.
It's oddly Monty Python-esque.
Yeah.
In a way. Because, like, as he's climbing up the ladder, there's, like, a lion.
It cracks me up when things use, like, photos in cartoons.
Yeah.
I think it's
Which is why you loved Monster Cops so much, I imagine. Because
God,
that one is
funny.
But they go to a different land. The first land they go to is... What is it?
Is it the roller skating land that they go to first?
No, that's the third one. That's the third one. They go to one, and it's like, I don't see any pizzas, let's go. And they just teleport again. Then they land on some Monty Python-esque babies.
Oh, God,
and they start to...
That was horrific.
They start to sink into the baby's head.
Yeah. The cranial plate must not have developed yet.
We'll be trapped. We better go, or we'll be trapped in a baby's brain. And then they go to Rollerblade Alley.
Yeah.
This rollerblading land where it's all 90s and neon, and they don't know anything about pizza either. But I just loved how, like, stupid that was. They're talking rollerblades.
Yeah, I was really expecting that when they, like, disappeared in the teleporting porta potty, they were going to do, like, the Simpsons joke where pizza would start falling from the sky or something.
Yeah, that would have been really good. Then where do they go? Oh, then they land in the He-Man Eternia sort of land, right?
Yeah.
Because it's so obviously Eternia.
It is, yeah. There's even a guy who looks like Man-at-Arms. He's got the same helmet.
Well, they've got the helmets, yeah. So Festro goes to the toilet and flushes the toilet.
He goes boom boom.
When they're all outside, he goes boom boom. And the toilet vanishes, so they're all stuck there. And then it's so Ren and Stimpy-esque.
Yeah.
Like, the best parts of Ren and Stimpy, you know, not that we're allowed to talk about that now, but Helmet Head is so funny.
Yeah.
It's like a monster with a giant helmet on, with 4 arms, but 2 of them have to hold the helmet in place. With his legs backwards.
And Double Dog. I love Double Dog.
Double Dog was good. I love that when Helmet Head is trying to make peace with the monsters, Festro is graffitiing his helmet.
Yes, same Festro was here. There's no need for it. Absolutely no need for him to be graffitiing his helmet.
He's just such an antagonist.
Yeah.
And then they're all sent to the dungeon. They are trying to think up a way out, and then Festro falls asleep and then has that sort of like whole cliche, I had this dream where we were locked in a dungeon, but he does it for so long that it's funny. And then you get the toenails bit. It did make me crack up.
Yeah, there's a lot of like gross out humour in it, but most of it works. I think they hit the mark with a lot of it. Like, this is so clearly meant to be like a gross out 90s thing.
Yeah,
but it was it was 20 years too late, and people didn't understand it. But apparently, I don't know how true this is because I only saw it referenced in one place, that they sort of tricked Cartoon Network into thinking that they were working on an Adult Swim show, and then they came out with this, and it ended up on Cartoon Network. But I don't know how true that is because it seems a bit bullshit. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I know that Warner Brothers and the Cartoon Network studios, even in like 2011, they didn't have the best oversight with things that they were doing. I still feel like they would have checked in from time to time to say, "Are you still working on that Adult Swim show?" And they would have gone, "Sure am."
Yeah. It would have. Yeah, it's like a halfway house show, isn't it?
Yeah,
it fits between the two networks.
I think this would have done better on Adult Swim.
Yeah. Yeah, if like stuff like Venture Brothers and stuff. Was Venture Brothers on Adult Swim?
Yeah, it was.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I always forget like where things ended up because they end up in weird places for us when they like cross the sea.
It's usually Channel 4, isn't it?
Yeah, it is usually Channel 4. there's one toilet in the realm, and that's been taken by Helmet Head to drink from.
Yeah. Oh, there's the wizard, the Gandalf.
Yeah, the wise one.
Yeah.
Who talks through other people.
Yeah. For no reason. He doesn't need to.
And he's got the kidney stone tablets. No explanation. The kidney stone tablets that have got pictures of Festro saving them and saving the toilet.
It's great. This was basically a TTOS episode. We could have done something like this. I mean, we had that idea about Hotine being the chosen one of that like volcano society.
Yeah, and we decided not to do it because of the Futurama episode that's very like it. But this is the same thing. I love when the T-Rex eats Festro and you think he is giant, and then when they cut back to him, he's normal size, so he wouldn't have been able to eat him like that.
Yeah, and then Festro just like bursts out of him. Like that dinosaur just gets immediately killed. He just gets ripped apart.
Yeah. I also really liked that he's like, why if you're the leader do you wear that stupid helmet? And he's like, if it's stupid, why can it do this? And it doesn't move, but it hits him from off camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the big reveal. The big reveal that the helmet isn't a helmet, it's an oven. And he's cooking pizza inside his head. And his head is a pizza tray. The thing that Festro was waiting for this entire time, the thing they were searching for, it was right under their noses.
Or right above their noses.
right in the helmet head's helmet.
I love that, like, it's a very, like, of the time thing to make, like, a fat joke.
Yeah.
But he is gluttonous, so, you know, like, it's played for laughs, so he eats all the pizza, kills Helmet Head by doing so, I imagine, because he was in pain when he did it, and then they used the toilet to get back. I loved when the fart says, cross your fingers, and he touched his fingers and he farted. That actually did make me laugh. But the first episode, I was like, this is great.
Yeah,
this is
I was as well. Like,
really funny.
I said to you like 5 minutes in, I don't know why people don't like this show.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. But so after I had watched one, I said I picked a second one because I thought Spivzy would like it as well.
Yeah.
And we watched Monster Cops, where the Disgustoids, because they want to pump up the jam, disguise themselves as cops to break the law so that they can do whatever they want. And the fart is the only one who wants to do things the right way. There were so many funny bits in this.
Best intro to a cartoon I've ever seen. Where they're dancing to like Mortal Kombat music with just their arms. The legs are completely still and the arms are just dancing. And then they end up fighting each other.
Yeah, they mosh. And then when the fart comes in and says, look, I've told you guys before, can we pump down the jams so that I can finish reading? And as he's doing it, his legs are doing the same thing that the arms were doing.
Yeah.
Really
good. And they end up putting fake mustaches on from parts of Gwiloc's hair. Is it Gwilok? Gwiloc's hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they look in a mirror.
It's eyebrows that keep growing back.
Yeah. They look in a mirror and they are like photorealistic representations of stock photo cops. Wearing like aviators and like the
3 of them
uniform.
are the same guy.
Yeah. And then the Dingle, it's like this like sexy cop, like a woman, like a Halloween costume. That was the funniest thing. That it made me laugh so much when they just looked in the mirror, and when they were talking, the stock photo cop's mouth was moving along with the talking. That is so funny. That is the perfect thing to do in it's like the perfect animated humor. Like, it killed me. I was just it was there were a number of times when I proper laughed out loud and had to rewind the episode, which is tough because every time you touch the show, the thing platform we watch it on, it shows an advert. But I really liked that. I liked when the fart looks at the mirror and is like, well, I'll be a monkey's fart. And I love when they go to the surface and the kids who are rollerblading are sorry, officers, we know that we can't rollerblade here. And Festro's like,
yeah, that's right, you can't rollerblade here. You can rollerblade everywhere. And they rollerblade down the hill, and you think they get hit by a train. It was so funny.
Like a second later, you see them. Really good.
Oh,
And like
man.
you see the fart like giving a talk at a school where he just writes the word bully on a board
Bully.
and then crosses it out and says, "Any questions?" and everybody puts their hand up.
What really also made me laugh is when the chief calls them in and is like, "You're doing a terrible job. You've got to find this crime syndicate that have been illegally downloading cheeseburgers." And
For the past 45 years.
And then the fart looks at the photo fits, and they're like really well done drawings of the disgustoids.
Yeah. So these are
really
obviously
great.
models.
And he goes, becomes a fashion police member and arrests one of the models. And then you've got your favourite bit of the episode.
Oh
where
yeah, they stake out a bathroom, but they're in a cop car in the middle of the bathroom, about 3 feet away from one of the urinals.
He's looking through, you think that he's looking through binoculars, but he's not. He's got 2 cardboard toilet roll tubes together. So funny. So funny. And then when he washes their face, the fart washes their face to wake them up, the moustaches come off, and then he realises that it's them that have been stealing the cheeseburgers. Even though Festo comes into the interview room when he's interrogating the
and he says,
model and says, "I've downloaded another cheeseburger. Do you want one?"
Yeah.
I love it when the fart sees himself in the mirror, and then is like, "I'm a cop, but I'm also a criminal," and then has to fight.
Yeah,
he's trying to arrest himself and run at the same time.
This extended Fight Club sequence of him fighting himself, and he like properly beats the shit out of himself.
Yeah, I'll give you your one phone call, and hits himself with the phone book.
All they wanted to do was
so
pump up
good.
the jams. That's all they wanted.
It's a 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I loved it so much.
So funny. I want to watch more.
I'm gonna watch the whole lot. We very rarely have that reaction to things where we're like, "Yeah, I'm watching it all."
Yeah.
But it was so funny.
It was really
so
good.
funny. And the titles of some of the episodes just make me laugh already. Like, there's what it do, nephew.
What it do, nephew.
Secret Mountain Fart Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Dingle Come Home, Colonel Monster's Monster Time Pizza Palace, President the Fart, Festro Gets Glasses.
He gets smoked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man.
I really enjoyed this. Yeah, I thought it was really, really, really funny, and I wasn't put off by the ugliness at all in any way.
I think it adds to it, if anything.
Dee Snider's in one episode.
Yeah.
That's something.
Do you know what? I loved it. I genuinely loved it.
I did as well. Yeah. I want to watch you're great.
Highest recommendation.
And Peter Braungart, he went on to direct that new Looney Tunes movie.
Did he?
Yeah, Day the Earth Blew Up. He directed it. He's also doing the Aardman Pokemon Netflix thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's working on it. I don't know what capacity he's working on it, but he's working on that. So that'll be good. And he did a load of the worked on a load of the Looney Tunes cartoons that they put on HBO Max, which I've never seen because they're on HBO Max.
Yeah,
he works on all of them as well.
I genuinely loved it.
Yeah.
I do not understand the hate it got. I do not understand why it isn't lauded as like a Cartoon Network classic.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
Should be a cult classic.
Yeah, if you've never heard about this show and you like things like Adventure Time and Gumball and
Billy and Mandy, there's a lot of Billy and Mandy in this.
Yeah, but there's like a bit of Futurama in it, a bit of Venture Brothers, a bit of Chowder, Flapjack. Regular Show, all that sort of like it takes a little bit of everything and somehow feels
with a lot
really
of
unique
fart jokes.
And the thing is, the toilet humour does not normally stuff like that puts me off, but it's so well placed in this,
Yeah.
and
there's a guy-
well timed.
There's a guy who is literally made of asses. Like, you can't not have the toilet humour.
No, I love that his abs are butts as well.
Yeah, and his back meat is his butts.
And he's one of the best characters.
Yeah.
Like, he's really sensitive and really,
voice.
considered. Yeah, he's really good. Because he can't talk, so it almost feels like he's telepathically talking. But they're great. It's a really good show. Really, really good.
More of this, please.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I loved... The cop episode was so good.
Yeah, really funny.
I loved them both. I thought Helmet Head was so Venture Brothers.
Yeah. They had that one scene in Monster Cops where they go into the school principal's office and they say, the cops said that school's out forever, and everybody like storms out of the building. And the principal's there like cheering. Like,
Yeah.
like he's happy about it as well.
It was genuinely such a surprise. I love when we find things like this that are just I wasn't expecting it to be good. It is weird.
Yeah.
One of like a really weird cartoon. But I think the weirdness comes from the fact that it's not loved.
Yeah. Yeah. Just cowards. It's people being cowards. That's all. It's the
cowards.
only possible explanation. Cowardice.
Right, I think that's it for today's episode. But let's talk about what we're going to do for the next 2 episodes, because we've been planning in advance. So
we're good.
Take it away, Spiv.
The next episode of Toonhounds, our theme is apes.
Ape Strong.
In celebration, probably, of the new Donkey Kong cartoon, which is coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be watching Donkey Kong Country and Kong, the animated series.
Not the other Kong, the Netflix one.
This
the
one
original
what year
hand-animated one.
What year did that one come out? It came in 2000, so no, it was not because of the Peter Jackson movie, which was 5 years after this. So maybe Peter Jackson watched this and thought, shit, I'm going to make King Kong.
Well, I think like you said when we talked about it, I think it's a direct sequel to the Godzilla series, right?
Yeah, it's got to be, yeah. Connected in some way, at least.
And then the episode after that, what are we doing then?
We're going to watch Rocko's Modern Life and Camp Laszlo, made by the same person, whose name was Joe Murray.
Joe Murray.
So we're going to do a Joe Murray episode.
I loved Camp Laszlo.
So did I. And I love Rocko's Modern Life.
I loved Rocko's Modern Life, but I think I liked Camp Laszlo better.
I like Rocko's Modern Life more as an adult.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see, won't we? And we'll pick episodes. We probably won't do them. These ones are so esoteric and weird that we'll probably just pick random episodes.
Yeah, I don't think it really matters, does it?
No. One thing we're not watching, Devil May Cry.
No.
Yeah. So, have we got any emails or reviews?
I doubt it. Let me have a look. I don't think we've got any emails.
Okay.
How do I get to my emails? There it is.
Yeah, I don't think we've got any reviews. This is a perfect time to say that if you want to send us emails, you can send them at toonhounds@gmail.com. About anything, really. But tell us about your favourite cartoons. Tell us about the last episode. Because I like that when people send us emails about the last episode, because then I can be all smug that people are agreeing with my opinions on things. And then if you want us to leave us a review on iTunes, because we are like in the top 20 animated shows in the Philippines.
Oh yeah, I was going to
podcasts in the Philippines.
Top 149. In the Philippines. Do you want me to read the email out? Because I've got it here.
Yeah, that'd be good.
It says, "Hello, how's it going? Hope all's well. I have some cool information that might interest you. Your podcast Toonhounds has good performance in Apple Podcast rankings of the last 30 days. Position 149 in the category TV and Film in the Philippines. This data was provided by, I'm not putting the website out because I'm not advertising for you. Happy podcasting." So, and I looked it up. We're not even on the list. We're nowhere on there. I think they're just bullshitting us. Yeah.
Wow, I was going to say, I would be surprised if anyone in the Philippines listened to
I don't think it's true.
Us. I don't think we have good SEO.
No, God, no. I don't even update the Blue Sky.
No, that's true. I mean, we're not doing it for fame and glory, luckily. But we just like talking about cartoons.
Oh man, if we were doing it for fame and glory, watch out. We'd be we'd have our own Channel 5 show on. We'd replace Jeremy Vine in the mornings for the Toonhounds show. That's how famous we'd be.
Absolutely.
If we just locked in. If we locked the fuck in, that would be it.
That's why we don't, because we don't want to get too big.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did we have any other emails apart from that?
No.
Wonderful. Send some emails, you cretins.
Yeah,
we love emails.
Yeah. We don't. How do I actually look up to see if we've got reviews? Because I've got no idea.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we've read reviews before.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
They're normally going on to iTunes, aren't they?
Yeah. Who are all these people using iTunes? I've never used iTunes.
Do you know what? I have never used iTunes on here. While you explain about the Patreon and Daredevil versus in the details and stuff like that, I'm going to have a look and see if we've got any reviews, okay?
Yeah, so we've got a Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Toonhounds, for as little as £1 per month, you can get access to episodes a couple of days early. You get the episode on a Friday when it usually comes out on a Monday, so that's something for you. You can listen to it over the weekend. But you also get month earlier access to our sister show, Daredevil in the Details, where we are reading, watching, playing, loving Daredevil on a semi-regular basis, where we're just talking about the comics, the shows, and everything, and it's really fun.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the start of the Brian Michael Bendis run soon.
We are, yes. We also need to talk about the final 3 episodes of Daredevil Born Again. Yeah,
which were very, very good. Spoilers. Yes. So I can find that we are a 5-star based on 9 reviews.
Oh, brilliant.
But I cannot tell how to get there. Ratings and reviews. It does not show me. Report a concern. Oh, here we go. What have we got here? I'm going to look at all of these. So we got only 3, but
yep.
only 3 with words. We've got 9 reviews,
nice.
But 3 with reviews, actual reviews. So from Dacius, this show is great. I love Spivzy's voice and Rich's Lego talk.
Yay.
I mean, not my voice, eh? Also, Keith Thulu,
backhanded.
5 stars. If you're a fan of animation or looking for another nostalgia podcast, Toonhounds is for you. Interesting topics, check. Amazing hosts, check. Occasional appearances by Jeff Pellington, check. Love this show. Please keep it up. One of my favourite podcasts. Oh, thanks.
We should get Jeff back on.
Yeah.
What do you think he'd want to watch?
Probably Star Trek.
Yeah.
Easy win there.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
And then we've got one from Nate, who's been on an episode. It's a remarkable show with a couple of good old chaps. Honestly, the thoughtful commentary on the cartoons we grew up with is both wonderful and funny. Keep it up, boys.
I hope that we had thoughtful commentary on this episode, where we talked about a man made of arses farting his way across the street.
Genuinely, though, I love when we find something that really makes us laugh, because... I can't help but tell every single joke in the episode. Do you know this will be our 89th episode?
I know, it's insane, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
we nearly at 100.
Something big for the 100.
Yeah. We'll watch 100 cartoons. No, please no. We'll stream a marathon.
We'll do like a tier list or something like that.
We've done that already.
We did the competition, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to do something for the 100.
Yeah. The big 100
show.
Oh, that'd be good, yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, next episode is Apes. Hope you're looking forward to that. Ape Strong.
That's
they blew it up. Damn you! All that stuff.
Damn dirty apes!
Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
He could talk. He could talk. He could talk.
Make a monkey out of me.
Can I play the piano anymore? Of course you can. Well, I couldn't before. Is there a more perfect episode of a show? Like that is
no. It's so funny. It's so funny. Just like
when Dr. Zayas starts breakdancing. God,
Dr. Zayas.
Ooh, Dr. Zayas. Great.
We should also do that one for Apes.
We should watch that one as well.
We'll do that one as well. We'll do 3 episodes. Oh, a little treat for you there. Right, so we'll see you in 2 weeks for more Toonhounds goodness. Thank you for listening as always. We couldn't do this without you. We wouldn't want to. Be kind to yourselves and each other, please. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Goodbye.